welcome back to another review, and this is going to be my review for Kung Fu Panda 4. Before I give my thoughts on this one, I should give my thoughts on what I think of the entire franchise overall. I think the first one was an absolute surprise hit. Definitely, it's one of those don't judge a book by its cover books. I mean, the premise sounded absolutely ridiculous, a panda doing Kung Fu. And it was an absolute surprise hit with a fantastic story, beautiful animation. I think the second one's even better. It's my personal favorite of the franchise. And the third one, while not great, is actually still a good conclusion. So now we have this fourth one where I can't call it a bad movie, far from it. It definitely is the weakest of the other movies. So starting off with what I do like, and I do like the story we get with Po, where now he has to become the spiritual leader of inner peace. And I think this is actually a good move with the franchise, where in the first one he had to learn to become the Dragon Warrior. The second one he had to learn to become the Dragon Master. And the third one, he had to learn about peace, and he became a teacher. So we're moving in the right direction here. I still think the animation here is definitely top-notch. It's definitely one of the strong aspects of this franchise. And yeah, the action still actually does quite deliver here. I think the villain we get here, the Chameleon, is good. Definitely not great. I mean, we'll get more into her in a minute. I thought the new character we get here, Zhen, voiced by Awkwafina, was definitely okay. I mean, it could have been better, but then again, I think it could have been also maybe could have been a lot worse. Moving, and yes, we have to definitely talk about the Tenacious D cover of the Britney Spears Hit Me Baby One More Time. I thought this cover was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I am not a Britney Spears fan, so I was kind of curious how this cover was going to go. And yeah, it is so catchy. It is so good. I absolutely loved it at the end credits. Now moving on to the not so good things. Starting off with the Chameleon herself, as I said, it's an okay good villain, but one of the things that really bugged me was with the other villains that we've had in the previous films, you know, Tai Lung, General Kai, and Lord Shen from the other movies. They've had a backstory, you know, an interesting backstory, to say the least, of why they are the way they are. So you kind of feel a bit of sympathy towards them, but then also you don't, because they're still the villain of the movie. Here, it kind of is. I mean, I'm just going to say it here because it really isn't a spoiler. She literally just describes in one sentence that Kung Fu Masters didn't believe in her because she was too small. And I don't think it really works, considering that, well, we have a praying mantis in this universe. So it doesn't really work here. Yeah. And then there's also a side plot with Mr. Sheng and Li, and while not bad, kind of really felt a little bit unnecessary. I mean, do we really need to have these two be kind of other main characters in the movie? You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Bryan Cranston does a fantastic job as Li. He definitely gets some good laughs here. And yeah, Fantastic Five fans are definitely going to be disappointed that, well, the Fantastic Five technically really aren't in the movie till the end credits, which I kind of get why they're not really in the movie. I mean, it would have been really hard to have them in there, but then again, I think had we actually had them throughout the entire movie, that Po actually could have chosen Tigress as the Dragon Warrior because, well, she's really been the other mentor for him throughout the franchise, and they've definitely had the best friendship throughout the franchise. So it would have actually made more sense had they actually been in the movie. The humor definitely is a hit and a miss here. I mean, this was actually the first Kung Fu Panda movie to actually introduce a fart joke. So, yeah, thanks DreamWorks, really needed that in here. And yeah, people have watched the trailer and actually seen that Tai Lung is going to make a return. Not giving spoilers, don't get your hopes up here. Yeah, it doesn't really make that big of a performance, you know. So, yeah, and the other thing that bugged me is that this doesn't really actually have the heart of the previous films. I mean, it kind of does a little bit, but definitely not as much as the previous movies did. I mean, even with the third one, it still had a bit more than this. So overall, my thoughts on this is that, yeah, it was okay. I mean, this definitely is the lowest bar you can give and actually not make a bad movie. But I'm here to say now that DreamWorks, please don't make a fifth one. I mean, I think if you did, it would definitely be a bad movie. As I said, this is the lowest bar you can give and actually still be pretty decent. So my best recommendation for this is if you are desperate to see this movie, I recommend that you wait till it comes out on streaming. I don't think there's any need for you to rush out and go see this. So overall, I'm going to give Kung Fu Panda 4, and it really disappoints me to have to say this, but I'm going to give it a C-. I was going to be generous and give it a C+, because the things that it actually does well is definitely good, but there's definitely too many flaws within the film. So yeah, definitely disappointment. I mean, for a fourth installment, it definitely could have been a lot worse, but I do think it actually could have been a lot better as well. So, guys, thanks for watching. Movies may be good, movies may be bad, but are of them anyways.